When I sit down at my machine, what I should have in front of me is my project. I should have a set of snips or scissors, and I should have one of my pin magnets or pin cushions ready to go. So what I'm going to do is, before I turn the machine on, I'm going to double check that my machine is threaded. It looks like it is good. I've got my 2 threads coming out, one coming out of the needle and one coming out of the bobbin. Both look good. I do want that nice long tail coming out of the machine. That keeps it from coming unthreaded when I start to sew. Everything looks good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick my pedal up, unwind it, and gently set it down on the ground so that it is ready for my right foot to use like a gas pedal. And then again, I go ahead and reach on the right hand side of the machine. Right above the power button is my power switch. I'm going to turn my machine on. If you are at one of the other Waukee schools besides Waukee North, your machines may look a little bit different than this, but still should be similar where the power button is located. Okay, I'm going to set my snips and my magnet off to the side. I'm going to slide this machine a little bit closer to me. Okay, and then on our machines here at North, we do have our speed guide. I'm a more confident sewer, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit. If you are still uncomfortable with the machine, keep it at a lower speed until you are more comfortable. Okay, for step 11, I need to sew along that pinned edge that we just made. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Remember, on our machines, our foot is a 1/4 inch foot. So if I line the edge of my fabric up with the edge of my foot, I should have a nice 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to take my project, get it under the machine. I'm going to line it up so I see that in that circle in the foot, I can see my project. I've got the edge of my fabric with the edge of my foot. I'm going to reach with my right hand into the machine and find my presser foot lever inside here. I'm going to gently set that down and then take this first pin out of my project and set it on my pin magnet. I am now ready to go. So I'm going to put my needle down with our needle up down button, making sure I am hitting my fabric as I go, and then I'm going to start my project. I do want to make sure I am backstitching at the beginning and end of my stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get a few stitches in. I'm going to press and hold my backstitch button until it goes back to where I started. I'm going to let it go, and then continue to sew all the way down the edge of this project, making sure I'm staying lined up with the edge of the foot. I'm going to stop and take my pins out as I go, making sure the pins end up back on my pin magnet. My hand should never go anywhere near the needle. I am just using my hand to guide the fabric and make sure that it stays straight as I am going through. Before I get too far down the line, I am going to double check that I am hitting all 3 layers as I am sewing, and I look like I'm a good 1/4 inch away from the edge of the fabric. And then continue on. I'm going to bump this up a little bit, again, because I am a more confident sewer. I feel comfortable doing that. I still only have it at about halfway. my project is getting a little pushing back at me right there, so I'm going to stop and adjust that and put that in. As I am getting closer to the end of my project, I'm going to slow down a little bit because I want to try and keep this pin in as long as possible to help hold everything where I want it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take that out. Remember, I'm getting to the end of my row, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to back stitch down better. I am at the end of the row. To remove my project from the machine, I'm going to grab in here, I'm going to grab my presser foot lever, I'm going to push it up, I'm going to pull my project with my left hand off to the left side of the machine, I'm going to grab my snips, and I'm going to cut up next to my project without cutting the fabric, just the strings. Again, leaving that nice long tail coming off of the machine. Then I'm going to come back to the start and trim that other long piece. Set that thread off to the side so we can pick it up later. And I'm done at the machine for a minute, so I'm going to turn my machine off. I'm going to pick my foot pedal up off the floor, wrap the cord around my foot pedal, and set the foot pedal in front of the machine before I get up.